That is my morning jam. I'm telling you. Love it. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the morning market report. Markets, they're opening in the red. We got the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow all down. Dixie's up. The 10-year yield is up. It's continuing to go up. Shout out to Lunar Beach's Crypto. I see him in the chat. But what he doesn't realize is that that rate that he just got on his house, probably a blessing for him. I think we're going to see those go much higher. But right now, on the markets, we got on the daily, a little bit of mix, a lot of red there. But on the hourly, we're starting to turn green. So maybe we get a little bit of a pump today. I'm going to show you guys some levels that I'm watching. We are looking at some key levels that I'm going to be buying some Bitcoin on. I do think that we could see some more downside coming, but where's that support at? We're going to look at that. We're also going to be taking a look at a token called GOAT. Not Billy Goat Tails, but it is absolutely rocked overnight. And then we're going to look at that because it's now available to trade on Blowfin. So maybe if you guys are in there trading on Blowfin, you can take a look at that chart. We'll look at some levels and see what we can get on that. And then we've also got a $200,000 call by Bernstein. Might be too conservative. We're going to take a look at that article and a whole lot more today on the morning market report, guys. Get your coffee, get ready. It's time. Class is in session. Let's get it. Yo. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report. Unfortunately, I'm going to need all of my mods in the house to stay on it today because Alexandra G messaged me this morning. Send her some best wishes if you would today. She is not feeling well and she will not be available. She's a little under the weather, so I told her, get well soon, and we miss you and we love you. She's the best mod in the biz, but you guys are going to have to pick up the slack for me today. Welcome to everyone that is just joining us here, but let's go ahead and bring up the co-host. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's start pumping out some alpha. Let's get it. We've got OC Guy in the house. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, today is a good day. I do see a couple of retracement. I got to stop out after a little bit of searching there in Bitcoin. Still planning for my next re-entry. So other than that, doing fantastic.
Yeah, we were at some key support on the my long-term trend-based fibs, and we had a platinum pocket support, and we held that thing for like a day and a half, like 36 hours, and then suddenly it said, "Yeah, I'm going through this. We're going." So we'll take a look at that and see where it's heading to. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got username in here: French Toaster, Green Day Prophet, Silver Days XRP said, "Let's get it." We got Alex O Crypto in the house with us today. I love it, man. What is up, Alex O? Buck is in here. Lunar Beach's Crypto, which of course I've already hollered out at him. We got Harp in here. Crypto Trades, Average Crypto, Joe, Ninja Glock, and of course the Piper Academy is in there at the top. So Dusty Hunt just said, like, smashed. I appreciate you, bro. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we got in the news today, guys, and then we're going to get into the charts. We've got quite a bit to look at it on the charts today. So slack is heavy. I don't know what that means, Alex, though. You'll have to let me know. So let's go over and take a look at the news. There it is, news. We got news. All the news is fit to be news. All right, let's see here. We got the green bubbles. I told you about those. We're going to come back to those. We're going to jump over here, check out the market cap, guys. Looking here at the market cap, let's give it a refresh, get those latest numbers in there. Yeah, we're looking at about $2.29 trillion. So we're still sitting above that well, I guess we're just under that 2.3 trillion right now, down 1.21%. Looking over here at the Fear and Greed, sitting currently at 56. It is neutral right now. Looking at Bitcoin, guys, it's sitting at about 66,500, just a little bit under that, just shy. Down 0.7% on the 24-hour, not a major pullback, but it definitely lost some key support. Ethereum is down 1.89%, sitting at about 2574. BNB is at $584. You can see there a lot of green in the last hour, but overall, Solana is about the only outlier here. Tron that is really just sitting green on the daily still. It's sitting at $167. XRP down 1.17 cents, sitting at 52.6 cents there. Tron is, like I said, up on the green just barely, 0.17% on the daily there, and most of that was regained in the past hour to give it that. So, pick up the slack. Got it. Slack is heavy. It is heavy, man. She is a lot to fill in for. Let me tell you. Cardano sitting at 35.4 cents. Avalanche at $26.72. Any big movers on here? Sui, guys, I saw an article. I'm going to share this article with you today on Sui. I don't know. I'd like to hear Alex O's take on this, because I respect your take, Alex O Crypto. If you guys don't follow Alex O, you need to. I'm sure most of you do, but if you don't, maybe we can get one of the mods. I don't know, Alex O with the Blue Wrench, to drop a link there in the description or in the chat. That would be great. I appreciate it. But anyway, Sui. There's an article that I got that says that Sui could face a downside move of about 30%. I would love to hear your take on that. And we'll look at that chart today too. Aptos is at $9.84 after a nice rally run last week. It has now got a daily 9.48% pullback with a 0.99%, just under 1% pullback on the last hour. That's about it on the top 20. We do have some green here across the board on Monero and ICP. That's about it. But the big one, guys, I want to go and see if I can pull up GOAT here. Because GOAT had a really good run. When I first got up this morning and looked at the bubbles, it was up there pretty good. Let's see here. I think it's this one here, Godius Maximus. Yes. Goatsius Maximus, guys, in the past hour, or in the past day, 77% bullish on the community, by the way. But overall here in the past day, it was up like 58%, 55% market cap increase, and it's up 57% on volume, trade volume. Overall, it is up 55% on the daily. So absolutely crushing it. And it's interesting because that one is now available on Blowfin to trade. So I'm going to go take a look at that later on. Might see where the resistance is at and get into a short on it. It needs a cool off. So let's jump over here, taking a look at the bubbles again, guys. Green on the hourly, on the daily here. You can see though, down 14.9%, and we got 8.2% down for Aptos. Let's look at this economic calendar. Let's give this a refresh and see how this is looking. All right, so the 30-year mortgage. The 30-year mortgage is still sitting at 6.52%, but mortgage applications, guys, dropped by 6.7%. Not as bad as previously, but let's see. Was that a revision? No, that was not a revision. That was just a bad month. 17% down, 6.7% down for the month of October. And then the mortgage index down just a little bit, meaning that there's less houses that people are even looking at right now. That's what we got there today. Let's move this over into a 2-star and get those restricted down. You can see here tomorrow we're going to get initial jobless claims. Right now it was 241,000 jobs. That was last week. This week they're looking for 242 to 247,000 on the consensus versus forecast. We'll have to see how those job numbers come out tomorrow. It could be an indicator of what we're seeing on November 1st. And I'll show you guys why I'm watching November 1st, because November 1st is a little problematic for the entire Fed focus, right? How they're trying to look at this, because you see here non-farm payrolls in October, right? This is all on November 1st, right before the elections, ironically enough. 254,000 was the previous non-farm payroll. They're looking at a forecast of 180,000. That is quite the drop from 254,000. And why is that relevant? Well, it's seasonal hires right now. And so we should see some job pickups for people, for companies, because of the seasonal. Now, keep in mind, non-farm payrolls doesn't include all the seasonal. There's a lot of things in there like non-farm. Like farming, not in there because it's non-farm payrolls. But the unemployment rate, guys, we are looking right now at a forecast of an uptick on unemployment of 0.1% to 4.2%. When we look at that, if we get any revisions, any at all, if those job numbers that came out a couple of Fridays ago turn out to be not legit, not not kosher. I don't know how you want to say it. Not fudged or fudged, I should say. Then we would see this unemployment rate go up even higher than 4.2%. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be an important one. That's going to be coming in right there before the election. So looking at the CME, how's the Fed looking right now? They are looking at rate cuts in the area of 25 basis points. We're now getting back into 50 basis points, or 50, sorry, my bad. We're now getting back into the ballpark of no change, 11.1% of no change, and then 88.9% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut. This is one that I wanted to talk about here because no, we're not there. We're not going to do that yet. We'll come back to that. Seeking Alpha, guys. Here's what we got on Seeking Alpha for today. These are the ones that they're telling you to watch and buy and all that good stuff. Buy Amazon Magnificent 7 is on this list. GPCR, that is a therapeutic best in class for obesity. It's a weight loss drug. That is a strong buy right now for GPCR ticker. They got Super Microcomputer, that is SMCI. They got it as a buy right now, despite some SEC filing delays. Got a little article here on it. Sell XLE still on there. That's an interest rate sector because it doesn't do well when they start cutting interest rates, right? So, and then Marathon Digital, guys. They got Marathon Holdings Beyond Bitcoin into New Avenues. Mara, that is Marathon Digital, Bitcoin mining company. They got it listed as a buy. Just wanted to bring that up and show you guys what they were seeing there. Was there anything else on here that I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, there was. Check this out. So here in the ETFs by quant rating, they actually do like a ranking and rating system on what ETFs you should be looking at and how strong they are. And I just want to show you guys the top one on here, T-Rex 2X Long NVIDIA Daily Target ETF. They got a rating of 4.99 out of 5 on there. Not bad. And then there's also another one that I saw in here. This is WGMI, Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners. 4.96%. This is the one that I told you guys I was picking up, and I saw that they got an uptick on their rating today to 4.96. This pretty much is all of the Bitcoin miners in their ETF, so it's pretty interesting. If you want exposure to Bitcoin mining, that ETF, not a bad one. It's going to give you a pretty good spread across the board. And then let's talk about this, the big 600-pound elephant in the corner of the room. This is why I said Lunar Beaches. You may have gotten yourself a really good interest rate on your house for your loan mortgage rate because the 10-year treasury rate may rise above 6% according to this article. Despite Fed cut rates, strong economic data and persistent inflation suggest that the 10-year treasury yield could rise to 6% or higher. The yield curve is steepening and indicating that the 10-year rate is too low and may rise significantly if economic growth continues. Historical trends and current economic conditions imply that the 10-year rate could peak between 5.75 to 7.35, driven by a higher term premium. Rising 10-year rates could negatively impact ETFs focused on the longer end of the curve, meaning the 20-year, the 30-year, so on and so forth, making vigilance and adaptability crucial for investors. Michael Kramer, who manages Mott Capital, long-only investor who focuses on macro themes and studies trends and options, assessed entries and exit points. The United States 10-year bond is at a crossroads and may have much further to climb. One thing that I want to touch on in here, they talk about how much higher it usually sits than the Fed rate and where that's currently at. Currently, the Fed funds future sees the overnight rate bottoming around 3.4% by December 2025. This would imply that the economy's neutral rate is somewhere in that region, the federal rate about 3.4. Going back to the 1960s, the 10-year tends to peak between 275 to 385 basis points above that Fed funds rate. And so if that neutral rate is indeed around 3 to 3.5, that would mean that the 10-year rate rises to about 5.75 to 7.35. Now, let's jump back over here and let's talk this out because typically if you have a 7.35, that would be the in line with the mortgage rates, right? Because they don't really go off of the Fed rate. They go off of the 10-year yield. I've talked about this before. If a bank can put money and make 7.35 on a 10-year treasury bond, why would they give you a loan at 7.35 or below, right? Your risk, that's not. So you've always got that loan amount on top of that 7.35 based on your risk. Is your credit risk and your credit history, does that mandate, them to go 2.5 to 3% above that? Guys, we could easily be looking at mortgage rates for the average American, especially when we look and see the delinquency rates on credit cards, the delinquency rate on consumer loans, the lack of savings, the high credit usage. All of those state things bring credit scores up. And so when when the mortgage companies and loan companies for cars and houses and whatever else look at this at 7.35 on the treasury yield, and they look at your data and they look at your history, that if you've got no savings and you're maxed out and you've been late on your credit card multiple times and late on this loan and late on that loan, God forbid you had a repo, you could easily be looking at a 10 to 13% mortgage rate loan, and car loans being even higher than that. So yeah, it's not looking too good on that 10-year yield. And this was what I was talking about a month ago when they cut those rates, guys. This is the thing to watch, is that 10-year yield. So 10-year yield putting a hurt, and it's up to 4.24%. I can see it right now, right over there on CNBC. So OC, what are the interest rates like down in Mexico? Like if you wanted to go buy a house, what kind of interest rate are you looking at? What kind of percentage?
They're pretty high. Actually, a pretty high one. Looking about buying houses, I'm not up to date with that percentage, but it's something around, I would say, 30% rates. So
Whoa,
yeah.
that's some United States 1970s rates, man.
And we have I mean, but to be fair, we have a falling economy. If you take a look at the economy or the peso against the US dollar, we are in free fall at certain periods of time. So it's to be understood. And also, if you take a look at the now, what is being called the SOFIPOS, which are virtual banks, they offer up to a 16 to 20, 16% yield, yearly rate. So it kind of like compensate. Like maybe if you take that 16 back to 3, well then you're gonna get that 30 back to 15 or something around
Right,
those
right. Well,
zones.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
I tell you what,
exactly.
OC, you ever need a loan, you let me know. I'll get it US rates, and then we'll meet well below what you would get in Mexico. I got you, bro. I got you. Let's
Oh,
go check.
absolutely.
I got you, man. Let's go check out some Bitcoin on the charts, and then I got a couple of articles about these. We are getting a little bounce here. I'll show you why I'm going to be looking for that rejection, though, if we get it. Let's jump over to the charts. All right, guys, look at here. This is the level I was talking about. We had about 36 hours here of support on this platinum pocket, the 786. When we were coming down, I thought that might be the level to hold, and we actually broke it overnight there this morning, getting a little bit of pump up there. But I am going to be watching for a rejection on the 786 to come back down. That would be the OC retest there. And then I'm looking at this range right here, about 63,400. That's going to be in line with our 200-day. It's going to be in line with our dynamic reactor. And then we've also got the 50 and the 100. There is a huge amount of support confluence coming in right here between 62,000 to 63,400. So that $1,400, $1,300 range there going to be where I'm looking to get in. One thing I will point out is that we did get the VWAP overbought that triggered here on the Chart Prime Oscillator Pro. Shout out to them. Look at that. Bam. That was the way it happened. We still got downside from there. But what I'm watching for is True 7 is coming down. That's this pink line right here. It is coming down. We do have the volume sitting, decent. Let's go ahead and pull that up there just to show you. It's sitting pretty decent, starting to curve back up. And then our Oscillator Pro ribbon is moving to the downside, but it's past, it's getting ready to hit that nice crucial area there of that 30% range, which is going to be right there. So once it gets down here and the True 7 gives us a nice little clip, guys, that would be the price range somewhere that would be the timeline about price getting into that range there between that 63,400. I'm going to be looking for that to be a massive entry on some more long trades across some alts, some Bitcoin, and maybe even pick up a little bit more spot there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. I will point out on the Piper Sniper on the 12-hour, you can see here. If I go in and put this on the 12-hour, can I get that on the 12-hour? Let's do that. Excuse me, had to sneeze there. I felt it coming on. I got the timer. I hit the mute button in time. There we go. Let's get in here and take a look at this. What I'm seeing on Bitcoin on the 12-hour and the Piper Sniper, because this is pretty relevant, guys. On the Piper Sniper, we have printed a green target lock and target hold. This typically means it's go time, right? If you were doing this only on the 12-hour, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for that pullback to support to hit, and then I'm looking for this to trigger on the daily, because on the daily, we do have a target hold, but we don't have a target lock yet. And if you look at where the golden pocket hit is here on the dynamic fibs here, guys, these auto print based on how many candles back you set it for, and they will auto print, and then give you your fibs. My platinum pocket is in there already. Fantastic algorithm. You can see we rejected perfectly on platinum pocket there. I'm actually looking there for the golden pocket down here, which would be in that $64,300 range. We just talked about that. Where is it? It's right in, well, I guess it's 63,400, but it is a little bit above the 200 days simple moving average there. So I am going to be watching for us to come down into that area. This would be key area of support also. And then if this triggers, it's green there on the daily, which right now it's getting close. You can see it has already gotten the double green confirmation on the 12-hour. I'm just going to be looking for that to happen here on the daily. And once that happens there, it's going to be on. Like we can run really, really well on that indicator, telling us it's time to get some trades in. So but yeah, guys, watching that lows levels there, right there, about 63,300 to $62,000. Let's go look at the heat map, and then we'll jump over to OC, see what he's seeing on his charts, and we'll talk about that. One thing I will point out, we don't have a whole lot beneath us right now on the 3-day on this heat map. Really, all of the heat is sitting at about 68,200 to 67,800. But if we move this out a little bit, I think there is one that I saw here on one of these other ones. Where are you at? Nope, it was in maybe the 2-week or monthly. There was one that had one little sliver. Yeah, there it is. We do have one sitting down there at about 58,000. I don't think we're going to get that low. Not right now. I think that comes later. But there is some little lighter areas of green here that we could push down through just to pick up and then return back up to that level. That's why I'm really looking at that block that I had there on my chart, that zone of entry. I'm really looking at like 63,400. That would be the 200-day retest, previous resistance here, and we have not really come back to test it once we broke it. You can see there, big candle push through, no retest anywhere. So that's where I'm looking really to get in. 63,400. OC, what are you seeing on your charts, bro?
Well, I have right here a failed trade here. It's also good when we start looking at when we win and also when we lose, because we can learn a lot more when we're losing at this point. My previous entry, my lookout area was a little bit slightly above in here, but yesterday after we had that flip of the ribbon confirm, I was expecting to enter in the next candle to come back down. This is the candle what I entered right here. As we went back down here, I was also calculating the first candle to be kind of like my threshold, because I also see this other one kind of like pushing downwards. So I moved my entry point a little bit lower. So this was a candle when I went in. It moved all the way or all the way up till the point that I got a full body and wick candle in green. This is usually my point where I move my stop to entry. And why? To prevent exactly this. I did decided to hold it. Why? Because it was this half of a position. I knew this could be very a dangerous point, and I was looking for a V-shaped recovery to create a lower high. At this point, remember that yesterday we were talking about my roof top pattern analysis here. When we start failing to reach the trend line, well, then we look for whatever comes first, either a lower low or a lower high. At this point, we fail with this high to reach this target. So basically, as you can see, it did not went up here. So that gives me this trend line to start speculating. How do I speculate on this trend line? Well, then based on other support and resistances areas like this one. And at that point, the first thing that we did is went all the way back down here to hit this area here. And then I was expecting to then bounce up to create this lower high. So it seems like the market had another plans, and I was aware of it. So that's why we have this possible area of where the dynamic reactor is going to be going, because I'm going to show you what happened here and what's going to be the next step for me. As you can see, we went down like in here, we have a reversal, and then let me zoom in or even look at this area right here. We start moving up and then have another pullback down and then keep moving upwards. This made a low area right here, a little range with a downwards movement, a farther low right here, and then we have after that movement we start creating, or we created a bullish divergence, and after that divergence we started moving upwards. The same thing happened right here. As you can see, we have our first low at this point. We had a flip of the ribbon, a little retracement, and then a higher move to the outside, creating a bullish divergence as the price were going downwards. So as you can see, this area, it's this area, and this area is also that area. We have the flip of the ribbon, we have the little retracement. I'm just expecting to have that bullish divergence, further move to the downside right here to the area that we are expecting for the next entry, and then a move to the upside. If I want to just to test my theory, I can start looking for some support and resistances at that area. Let me just clean up a little bit my spaghetti so we don't get a ton of stuff just hanging around, floating in nothingness. There we go. And the thing that I'm going to be turning on is the liquidation chart by Chart Prime. So shout out to Chart Prime here. This is a free tool that you can add to your charts. Yes, and it is one of my favorite ones because it shows you that liquidity area and basically what is easier for market makers to go grab that liquidity. As you can see, we're heading to this liquidity zone, and then we have another two liquidity bars in here alongside with, you guessed it, the dynamic reactor. So my first thing of bouncing is going to be this one, maybe not breaking this previous high, and finally my entry point at these areas for then now having my lower high. The lower high theory still needs to be proved because as you can see here, if we have a big enough pump, we could be creating a high that, yes, it's lower than the previous one, but still higher than this area right down here. And that area is very, very important. So if we make a high higher than this ranging zone, the next step will be making a breakthrough this trend line right here and continuing the upwards trend. So just be aware of the possibilities. Sometimes you need to take the risk, and it's important to show both case scenarios. So that's why I'm bringing you guys why it failed, how it failed, and also the plan that we have upcoming next. So other than that, let me throw it back to you, Piper.
Fantastic. I'm watching all of these chats going on about me wearing a monocle. You guys are going to get it. You're going to get me wearing a monocle and a watch. It's going to happen at some point. When Bitcoin hits 100,000, that's when I'll do it. So DubeTube said, guys, smash that like or you're spineless. I agree. Thank you, DubeTube. I appreciate you, man. And if you guys are watching us over on X, be sure to stop over here at our YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and that notification bell. So I was working outside just today and got a lot of dust. My sinuses are jacked up today. You guys don't know. I'm pulling out all of my yard, 1,250 square foot of grass, dead grass, weeds. Really, it's El Paso. It's a desert, gone. So putting in turf in my backyard. So I apologize for all of the pauses there that I'll have. It's killing me, but I'm here. I'm here for you guys today because we needed to talk about these markets. OC, I got an article here talking about Bitcoin, and you've had some crazy predictions in your time. I believe it was a $500,000 prediction or what, something like that. But got to clean your pipes, man. Womp womp womp. Here, let me get that sound for you. There you go. All right, so yeah, I was not staring at dirt. I was directing. I was supervising. Let's go talk about this article here. It is Bernstein. An analyst labeled their $200,000 Bitcoin price prediction for the end of 2025 as conservative. So there you go. Let's go down and see what they're saying here. Analyst at research and brokerage firm Bernstein claimed their current 200,000 Bitcoin price prediction for the end of 2025 is conservative, urging skeptics to reconsider the limited supply of cryptocurrency in an era of record U.S. debt levels. Um, they talked about that before, got to 200,000. This follows the release of Bernstein's Bitcoin Black Book, designed to make the cryptocurrency accessible and investable to institutional investors. If you are a Bitcoin skeptic, maybe a limited supply, store of value, digital asset is not such a bad thing in a world where U.S. debt hits new records, $35 trillion now, and threats of inflation are still looming. We talked about that before. If you like gold here, you should love Bitcoin even more. So let's talk about that. And also, I want to bring up, because he talks in here a little bit about MicroStrategy, and he talks about the mining companies. I have to say, if you have Bitcoin during bull runs, I absolutely think, and this is me, this is not financial advice, this is me. I think that having Bitcoin and then in a bull market, diversification, which isn't really diversifying because you're really just going into Bitcoin exposure. I think MicroStrategies coupled with your Bitcoin is a fantastic move to get even more Bitcoin because MicroStrategies does tend to outrun it. But what do you think, OC? Is Bitcoin at the level yet? Because let's be honest here. Is Bitcoin a finite asset?
Absolutely, it is.
I don't think so. They still mine it every day. I don't think it becomes a finite asset until we hit 21 million. I think then you start to see true supply shock. I think right now there's a higher demand than there is a supply, which causes price to go up. But I don't know that it's truly there yet as a finite asset. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the chat what you guys think on that. But I would say that it's definitely a limited resource. And I think that when you look at limited resources and what it does, what it is, and how it compares to gold, I don't think there's a huge amount of difference if you understand the code property of Bitcoin versus the elemental compound makeup of gold. It's really a very unique, very isolated, very difficult to duplicate thing, if not impossible. And so I think when you look at Bitcoin compared to what gold is, I think that they're right. If you like gold here, you should love Bitcoin because there is no risk of finding more Bitcoin down the road. There is a risk of finding more gold down the road. So, what are your thoughts on that? And do you like gold better than Bitcoin, or do you like Bitcoin better than gold?
Oh man, that's a really hard question. I want to address what you just mentioned. I do believe that it's a finite asset, and that, but I do have my possibilities here. I think I've talked about this before, and I do think there's a finite asset, but in the long term, like you mentioned, like we even have an estimated date where we're not gonna be able to mine more Bitcoin, right? A new Bitcoin, and then we're just gonna be recirculating whatever is left for fees for remining blocks, not new Bitcoin, right? So that's why I do see it as a finite so far on the code. But also, I've talked about that there's not enough Bitcoin out there for everybody to actually build on top of it. So, I mean, we all built on top of consensus, right? And we need 51% of the miners to be on that consensus to change either the code or to change whatever it needs to be done. I think we're gonna get to a point whether we're gonna be seeing one of two things. One would be getting all of the old Bitcoin from people that it's basically maybe have already died or have lost it, or something like that, and there needs to be kind of like a reclaim of that lost Bitcoin and then put it back into circulation, which that's what I think Satoshi Nakamoto is doing, basically putting its Bitcoin, throwing out the key, and whenever there's no Bitcoin for anybody else, well, then that consensus will need to be going into those wallets and be grabbed and then put into circulations through miners or something along those lines. And the second one will be just going with another coin that it's able to reprint based on Bitcoin, basically a centralized, going back to a fiat, but in the blockchain, and then just use Bitcoin as a gold reserve from what used to be fiat based on gold. Based on that, do I love more gold than Bitcoin? I don't know. I really, really like to have heavy metals in my hands. I
You
mean,
like heavy metal? I knew it. I knew you were a metalhead, OC. Uh,
yes, I mean that sensation to know that you have physical gold. I mean, there's something like that. Like that joke when men like to throw big rocks into water, and when we slash is big rock. Well, then that's what I feel knowing that I have
I
a
like
big
it.
chunk
I like
of
it.
metal, yeah, in my safe. But Bitcoin, it just checks all of the things, right? Technology, innovations, value. Mining thing, which is scarcity, right? And so on and so forth. So if I had to pick one, I'll go for Bitcoin.
Retro Mike Tech has a very good comment here. He says, code is law, and code can be changed very easily and accepted by the chain with a substantial hash rate that can easily be rented. So what he's saying there is that people can rent the miners to get control of the hash rate and then change the code with consensus of a majority. So interesting, Retro Mike Tech. I guess that means RMT. Does that mean that you like Bitcoin or gold better than Bitcoin? So let me know. Let me know. Fading TradFi said if Bitcoin is not finite, I mean, it by technical definition, yes, it is. But until there's still a lot more to be mined, and we're still producing it every day. It isn't like, that we. It isn't like that we have the 21 million and that's it. It's set. Now, if like Mike said, if somebody came out and said, "Hey, look, we got a majority and we're going to change this and make it 30 million," it's not that difficult to change code. It is that difficult to just go out and find more gold. We think there's more out there, but we don't know. And as consensus, they pretty much think that most of the easily mined gold has been located. It's just a matter of getting it out of the ground. So I guess in the world it's equivalent to Bitcoin, but I would not say that it's a locked supply asset. He's very right. It could easily be done just, bam, at the change of a code. So a bulk of AI computers is just running Bitcoin private key hackers. So that's interesting, Retro Mike. All right, let's get into some altcoins, OC. I want to talk about Sui. Let's talk about that first. Let's jump into that. And let's talk about Sui to face another pullback following a 5.3% dip. Analysts forecast a 30% correction coming to Sui. So let's get down here and take a look at that. Let's get rid of all of this over here. Thank you. Goodbye. And yep, I agree. Sure. I know my computer, I got cookies. I got cookies, man. My son works at Crumble. I got cookies all the time. Sui, the native token of the Sui network, has seen a 13% pullback in the past 7 days, halting its bullish rally. The cryptocurrency broke from a 1 month structure, fueling a bearish sentiment among market watchers who foresee further downside for the token. Sui lost a key support zone and it has been in a downtrend this week, losing that recently gained level alongside most of the market. Cryptocurrency saw a 5.3% drop in 24 hours, which has worried some investors and crypto analysts. The token registered one of the best performances during quarter three, leading the market as one of the few altcoins registering green numbers in most time frames. Sui started the month by recording a 15% weekly surge, which rallied it towards a new all-time high. Additionally, shut up, Siri. I said Sui and my Apple's over here talking to me. I love the way he says analyst. Something's wrong with you, man. Market experts like crypto allege that Sui's performance could be affected by insiders' continuous selling, who had unloaded $400 million in Sui tokens. Following the allegations, the cryptocurrency faced that 15% daily correction, but remained above the crucial $2 support level. So let's jump over and take a look at that chart. And then let's go talk about what we're seeing, and what 30% would look like on here, because we have lost that $2 level since that article came out, guys. Looking here on the 12-hour, we're now sitting at critical support of the 786. That's coming in at $1.89. We'll call it $1.90. Make it nice and round and even. But that's what we're looking at right there now. If we look at a 30% pullback from the top, I want to see what that would look like on the all-time high price pullback. Guys, I can see that. That would be a golden pocket retest. You can see here it was previous resistance there. Let's go back here and look. Yep, there was good support and resistance testing in there on that. So looks like this is absolutely a level of previous play. You can see here support. I could see this if we lose this platinum pocket at the 786, pulling back to the golden pocket. That would put us in line with the 50-day, the dynamic reactor, and would set us up for a nice little bounce there. And that would be the 30% pullback. Absolutely could see this, and I think it would be healthy to see. I would be looking at $1.60. $1.60. It's between $1.58 and $1.66. That might be a prime area to pick up some SUI on that 30% pullback right there in the golden pocket. Of course, we just got to watch if it loses the 786 level, that it comes back down to that OC. Your thoughts? Are you seeing anything on that chart or that you want to look at, or what do you got?
I was looking at Litecoin at this point,
Go
and
look at
also
Litecoin.
Link.
Let's do it.
But
Let's do that.
Perfect. Let's take a look at Litecoin. At this point, we had a couple of successful trades in here in the past, so it's time for me to just to wrap things up and then get back on tracking here. So something about Litecoin, it is that it's been performing very, very stable, but also we just had a breakout channel here, right? If I just put this trend line here and I adjusted it just so it's just slightly perfect to these previous highs, we had a breakout, and then guess what? We're going for a possible retest. So this could be a good idea to start looking for a possible bounce. We're still above the dynamic reactor. That's why our prime score, it's pretty bullish still. And our consolidation score, it is low. Why? Because despite we're bullish, we're moving within a micro trend. That being said, into a bearish scenario within the bullish trend, right? The retracement. So what would I be maybe looking for at this point to jump into a long position? I will be first looking at this other trend line that I have here, and then of course adding my support and resistances. The first thing that I want to see after drawing these trend lines, it is for the ribbon to get within that green part of the clouds. So once we are in the green part of the clouds, I want to see that we are on support and then continue with a breakout of that zero line. That breakout of that zero line will be my final confirmation. I can either jump in right here when we are getting into the green cloud with a risk entry, or a more secure add support going through that zero line. Let me just bring up a couple of things. All of my reactors are right there. So maybe a week down into this area could be possible. So do not get too scared if we start seeing that movement to the downside. All of my support and resistances are also bunching up at this point. So we're building up some big confluence. And of course, we have a loud order block. Yes, this loud order block, it is much more bearish, which means that, again, we could be weakening inside of this loud order block. And then because it is much bearish, I don't think that we're going to be making a higher high. I think we could be going for, remember, when we do a lower high first, the next higher high usually is called a dead cat bounce. So maybe doing a dead cat bounce, it remains to be seen. But this could be a long opportunity before we reach all the way to this other order block or liquidity zone and then start assembling a short position. For me, I'm going to be setting up an entry somewhere around these areas at 68.19. Not entry, but an alert. And then looking for that, for what we just talked about, and then calling that out that alert somewhere around 72.64. That could be, if that plays out as we are expecting, that could be something like, oh, come on, let's measure it manually. There we go. Could be something like 6.25. I usually use 10x. So we'll be using something, or we'll be seeing something like 62% on this movement. So there's also, of course, the Paris scenario in which we go into the money flow area right here, and then we start looking for that retracement. That will be a little bit dangerous because the money flow, it is much lower, somewhere around this area. Let me just confirm that. There we go. This is where the money flow is at. Sorry, money flow POC, which means that if we lose that area, we go into the money flow POC area. Well, then the bounce is going to be much more lower because we're going to be breaking throughout this trend line. So just be aware of the dangers of this trade. Nonetheless, this is a cool area to start looking for a possible entry. Again, there's a chance, there's room to do into the 15 minutes, but we'll explore that into the Piper Academy Discord tonight after the shows. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
So you were looking at the chart earlier on goat. Can we take a look at that and see what you're seeing on there, and then I'll pull up my chart because I do think there could be an interesting trade setup coming for goat. And like I said, guys, it is available to trade on Blowfin now as of today. $0 maker fee. So if you do a limit order, there is 0% maker fees on that on Blowfin. Link in the chat right there if you guys want to sign up with our link, and then you can trade some goat too. But let's go take a look at your chart on goat, and then I'll come back, take a look at mine, and show you what I'm watching for, because we had a big retracement this morning and then it bounced again. So let's see what you got.
Absolutely. Just to clarify which token is it, is a GOAT, a Zeus Maximus. So it goes for GOAT. So when you look for it, it's GOAT USDT, and then you can confirm the GOAT Zeus Maximus. So, I mean, we had a big retracement if we're talking about the 4 hours. As you can see, there's not much to be reading here. This is based on, where is it? It doesn't say, but I think this is a Maxi, Maxi broker. So we will have to go into the 15 minutes to start looking for that placement of possible support. We have a parabolic moving here. This makes me very uncomfortable to see. Let's just kind of manually trace it. There we go. And this will be an area that I want to see being broken before I start jumping to possible movements in here. I don't want to be catching up the price after it already has moved, right? We also can see that we have little retracements to that trend line, little retracement to that trend line, little retracement to that trend line. So when we start looking at that movement, well, then I would say that based on what we see, and look for that early flip of the ribbon. Something that is getting tightened, it is the clouds. Usually, when we see compression of the clouds, that means that a big movement is coming. But also, we can predict where that movement is coming if we have a high enough or low enough cloud compression. Because look at that, how much room for growth there is up here. Not much, right? Maybe we compress a little bit more and do one final move to the upside. Then the parabolic trend will be too tight. We lost the parabolic trend, then we lose the cloud, and then we do a big movement like this one. So that could be a V-shaped recovery movement like that. So looking for big entries, or big entries, let's just make sure that we understand that. It's going to be first entry point at 0.66, and the next one at the dynamic reactor when it crosses through that loud order block at 0.59. At this point, I think I could be allocating one position divided in two because of the disparity of those order blocks. Especially, they're pretty bullish. So, other than that, turning it back to you, Piper, I want to see what you think on GOAT, because you brought this into my radar and you've been trading GOAT, right?
Well, I haven't started trading it yet. I'm looking for my entry on it, but I did a little research on it on Chat GPT also, and according to this, Goatius Maximus is a meme-inspired cryptocurrency that gained significant attention due to its viral nature and involvement of an AI agent called the Truth Terminal. It's an AI was instrumental in promoting the coin, contributing to its rapid rise in value. It's become notable for its decentralized nature and balanced token supply distribution. I don't know. I might have to have Crux take a look at that one because he does a fantastic job at getting in on those tokenomics. But let me jump over to my chart and I'll show you what I'm seeing here on it because I actually see an area of entry and I see an area for a short. And so let's go talk about that. Let's jump over. Jumping in here, looking at GOAT guys on the hourly. I'm on MEXC also. I did a little trend-based fib extension here from this low because we had a low, a high, a higher low. So we now have a trend up to this higher high, down to this pullback. And right now, you can see the golden pocket played a lot of resistance, got tested as support, broke up through off of that resistance of the platinum pocket there, and then a nice retest on the top of that on the 887 before it moved up. I would be watching here for a one-to-one test. That would be about 62.7 cents. But the area that I would be looking for a short would be the phase 1618 at 91 cents. Of course, if it's going to get up there, I don't know that I would get in the middle of this area, at this middle of this gap with a trade right now. But if you think it's going up there and you wanted to run it with a tight stop loss, I'd look for a stop loss somewhere around that 64-cent range, just underneath those candles there. But I am looking for a retracement back to the one-to-one. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and set me an alert here right there on that. There we go. We have an alert set now. And so when I get that alert, I'll come and look at it and see how we're looking on the oscillators and stuff. But right now, it does look like money flow is getting another tick up. You can see it right there. We have this big bubble of money flow. It comes down and it starts to go back up again. Volume's still green. It's turning back into green right now. Guys, this might continue to pump. For zero maker fees, I would absolutely get on that. Can somebody please control Samuel? Just put him in a timeout, bro. Please don't come in here spamming the chat with Terra Luna. I'm sorry that you're probably underwater on it, man. That's what I'm looking at there on the GOAT CS Maximus, man. GOAT, I'm going to be looking for a trade there. I think that there could be one with zero maker fees. Why not run a good stop loss on it and let it ride? Let's do that. See, what else are you looking at on altcoins today?
No coins. I was looking at Link, but I know you're the Link commander here, so
you can run with it, and then I'll come in and give you any confluence or counterpoints to what you say. Let's go.
perfect. Let's do that. All right. So I lost it here. Let me see if I got it on my quick list, which I should, of course. There we go. Link. So Link not looking that good if we zoom into the 15 minutes. But I would be looking for the 15 minutes to maybe start planning for a possible bounce up. So guys, this would be a crazy scenario. So just brace yourself if you're going to be doing this. Reduce half of a position or something like that. So not financial advice, right? Because we are breaking through that zero line and we were pushing upwards, right? Right now, we kind of like a reversing, but as long as we don't lose this area right here, which is at 1135, I think we could be doing something like that and then going for the loud order block right here or even slightly below. And why is it slightly below? Because we also have a resistance up here. But also, I mean, I'm counting to see this empty space be taken for price action, right? So that's what I see, maybe a 15 minutes possibility right there. But, oh, there we go. But the main volume, it resides right down here. So let's go to the 4 hours. Let me just click in here and see that we have a 1, 2, 3 touch trend line. And right now, we're touching the 4 hour. Look at that for the fourth time. So we're piercing to the zero line. This is not cool, right? This is to be worried about, right? Piercing to the zero line. What I want to see, it is that flip of the ribbon. Even if we go slightly below, as long as we don't get more than whatever the wicks are in size, and that is, let me measure it. That is something around 1.7. That is around 1.6. That is around even a little bit lower, 1% below. If it doesn't break the 1% below, which is, you guessed it, where is it at? right where we see the big volume area right there on the 15 minutes. As long as we don't lose that area right here, I believe that we can still do a fake out in here, do a flip of the ribbon, break back inside, and then do the next movement. I could be looking for maybe a cricket head and shoulders in here with a neckline like this. This is not common. This is not something that I like to see. Nonetheless, this is what I'm seeing at this point. But maybe in the 15 minutes, we have a possible setup. On the 4 hours, we're still early. So just wanted to tell you guys, keep your eye on link. We might have a bounce at these areas if Bitcoin behaves and also finds its support. Remember that in Bitcoin, we're close to that support right around these areas. That's what I'm looking for. Link fake out with a 1% fake out, a flip of the ribbon, and then burst through it, and then off we go, close to the previous highs in here to make a lower high for the worst case scenario. Other than that, what are you seeing there, Piper?
Yeah, I'm watching here. We're inside of this little trade range that I've identified for a while. This little this box. It's based off of the volume node down here that's sitting in between our two trade ranges. I'll show you these. Just bringing this in. We have an upper trade range that price action was playing in. Then we got our lower one, which is like this entire year plus down here of price action. So let me clean all of that off. And let's go talk about this level that we're at and what I'm watching here. I think anywhere in this box is a good pickup area. My opinion only, of Chainlink, man. We got a 50-day simple moving average coming in at about $11.18, $11.19 there. But we do have, I'm looking at the bottom here. And the reason why is that is the value area low. That is the purple line that's running right there along this box. We also have confluence coming in right there on the quantum reactor that's going to be coming into line there. And so that's going to be right around $10.50. That's where I would be looking for a really, really good level to pick up on Chainlink. You can see here previously we did have a lot of bounces at this range also, and some of these bounces, guys, these led to 23% bounce. We had one here that led to a 17% bounce. We had even one over here. Where's it at? There it is. That one just by itself before it came back down and retested was a 11.6% bounce. So with no leverage, you throw a little small leverage amount, 5x on there, you're looking at a pretty good pickup range down there at that value area low in the quantum reactor. So that's what I would be watching for there on Chainlink. So that's looking at a 12-hour chart though. So that is about all we have time for today, man. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, smash that like button, share this with a friend. Sharing is caring. And, if you guys are watching us over on X, we appreciate you guys over there. Make sure you come over here to YouTube, help out the algo, help us out over here, because we got a lot of content creators, a lot of shows here running, and so I try to give these guys some money. If I don't ever make anything out of here and I can pay all the guys that help us out, that would make me happy. So, OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? Before we wrap it up, before we head over to Randy Hipper's house.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. Let me just finish up with something that I yesterday I was talking about farting, right? So, guys, if you fart, I know you do, but then click that like button because when you click it, your farts are gonna go silent and odorless. Don't believe me? Eat a bunch of beans tonight, and then try it out with your partner, and let me know if that worked.
Hot box. I've heard that best thing you can do is hot box your wife. Not that's write that down. That's your marriage advice for the day. By the way, I just want to clarify something that's been a debate going on in this chat for a while. Ocarina of Time is the best Zelda game ever. I'm just going to put that out there. Everyone else, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you guys don't agree with me, but I can't help it that you're wrong. So there you go. Guys, we're going to head out. We're going to head over to Randy Hipper's house. Frat Mom's waiting for us. When you get over there, drop those graduation caps, and we will be back here tomorrow morning. Guys, don't forget to tune in tonight. Crypto Nightcap at 8:30, and then tomorrow morning, make sure that you come in and join Good Morning Crypto with Lunar Beaches Crypto and BC Port Corp, giving you guys that pre-market open and setting up the spike for the morning market report. We're going to get that economic data out to you, get you those charts, get you that TA, and set your day off right at the market open right here on Piper Academy, the network for everything you need to know. The one-stop shop, guys. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Go check out the Blowfin link and check out that trade on GOAT. See if you guys can get in there. If I see anything, I will drop it in the Discord, and you guys can join over there too. Oh, crap. I almost forgot, man. I almost forgot. Guys, we're giving away $300 on Halloween. $300. There we go. Right there. $300. We're giving away $100 here on the crypto, the morning market report. TradeFly and FT are giving away $100 on the crypto nightcap, and the Good Morning Crypto are giving away $100 on their show, on the Good Morning Crypto show, Lunar Beaches and BC Port Corp. You can get into each of those trades by signing up with the WAP underclass. If you're signed up for our WAP membership in our Discord, that will get you an entry on the morning market report. If you sign up with Blowfin and deposit $50, you will get a chance to win $100 from Crypto Nightcap. And then all you got to do for that top one, the Good Morning Crypto, is make a price prediction for Bitcoin while they are live on the air on Halloween, October 31st. And the one person that is closest to the price will get $100 on the show. So we're giving away $300 on Halloween. Make sure you guys are tuning in for all of that. So we will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, guys. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss. Later, guys.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my love line, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude.